I want to talk to you about Microsoft Bookings. I know that scheduling is consistently a challenge in any workplace, but especially in academia when people are trying to set up times to meet with their professors. For instance, you've got office hours, maybe you have a Zoom link that you're using or a Teams meeting link, but that can get complicated. Sometimes multiple students join at one time. Maybe you're trying to have a private conversation. For one reason or another, you might want to be able to have individual meeting times that you can set up with students, where they can select from a variety of times, or maybe just one specific window of time where they can set up a meeting with you and automatically have their own private office hours with you. So I know some of you use Calendly or a variety of other third-party tools to accomplish this task, but Bookings is integrated with your 365 account, with your Outlook calendar. So I wanted to give you an introduction to this to see if this might be a simpler solution for you. So let's jump in and see how you can customize your booking page and set up some different meeting types. Once you are logged into Microsoft 365 online, you're going to pop up to the app launcher in the upper left, and you're looking for Bookings. Now this is your landing page for Microsoft Bookings, and I have a couple of sections here, one for my personal booking page and one for a shared booking page. We're going to be focusing on the personal booking page, and within the personal booking page, we can create a variety of meeting types. So I'm looking for a button that says Create Meeting Type. If you don't see this big button here, look in the upper right for a similar button, Create Meeting Type. Okay, I'd like to create some office hours for my students here, so I'm going to add a title that is Office Hours. And when I select category, this is tied to my Outlook calendar. So you're going to see your Outlook categories here. If you like to utilize categories, you can select one from here. This is how it's going to appear on your calendar. Okay, below this is a description of what this is. Now, if this just defaults book time to connect with me, I'm going to add my own message in here. Below this description, I can see that this is going to default to be a Teams meeting. I'm going to keep this selected because that is what I want. If you did want to meet in person with somebody, you could theoretically toggle this off and type in another location. But for the most part, what you're wanting is to have a Teams meeting generated when somebody books this appointment with you. Below this is the appointment length. So this defaults to 30 minutes, but you could change this you wanted a shorter or longer time for people. Underneath the length of appointment, I can choose whether this will be public, meaning this is going to appear on my bookings page, or private, meaning that I get to decide who gets access to this link. So I'll start with the public one, and then we'll take a look at a private one next. Below this is an option to have this automatically added to your Outlook email signature. So here's another sign here. This is all tied to your Outlook account. So if you wanted to have a signature that has a note about your personal booking page, you could keep this toggled on. Or if you don't want that added automatically, you could toggle that off. Okay, below this, schedule customization. So this is tied to your Outlook calendar. This is going to be checking your availability from there. But you may not realize this, you actually have office hours already set up in Outlook. If you want to see what your default office hours are in Outlook, you can click See Regular Meeting Hours to see what those are. Typically, it is 8 to 5, Monday to Friday. So I clicked on that link. It has taken me to Outlook, to my Outlook settings, specifically pertaining to my work hours. And it looks like 8 to 5, Monday to Friday is my default. Now, this is what is going to be open for appointments unless something is already scheduled on your calendar. So this is your office hours, but I'm also going to show you how you can tweak this without changing your Outlook office hours. So don't change your office hours here just because you want your bookings availability to be different. You do want these to reflect when you're generally on campus. So I'm going to show you next what to do if you don't want them to be able to book an 8 a.m. appointment with you. Okay, I'm back on my main bookings page here where I was setting up my office hours. I don't really want people to be able to set up an 8 o'clock appointment with me from my bookings page. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to click this drop down under use my regular meeting hours, and I'm going to say I want to use custom availability. Okay, so following this scenario that this is going to be office hours for maybe students in a summer class with me. So it's summer right now when I'm recording this. So maybe I only want to open it for a semester or for a certain date range. This is an option here. I'll just toggle this on just to show you the option. So maybe I'll start this when the semester starts, the summer semester starting on Monday. And I believe it ends on, don't quote me on this, but I believe it ends on July 26th. So if I'm wrong about the dates, you still get the idea. That's how you can set that up. And then I'm going to say I only really want them to be able to book with me maybe from a couple blocks of availability in here. So I'm going to say not on Tuesdays, Thursdays, or Fridays. I'm just going to X those out. And then I'm going to say maybe from on Monday mornings, I'm going to say maybe 9 to 11, they can grab a time. And then I'll give them an afternoon time availability on Wednesdays, maybe from 2 to 4. And maybe for you, you only have maybe one day a week that you have office hours. That's okay. You see how you can set that up. There are even more options here under advanced options. And I do just want to show you some additional options you have down here. So I'm going to click advanced options and scroll down here. So a few additional options you have here. If you like to build in a buffer time before or after a meeting, so see how this meeting looks here. It'll be a 30-minute meeting when people set this up with me. If I need to build in maybe 10 minutes before, that's going to block off my calendar automatically for a little bit of time before and after a meeting, if that's something that you like to do. Minimum lead time. I would probably change this. I need to know more than an hour in advance if I'm going to be meeting with somebody, but it's up to you. For me, maybe I would change this to a day. And then how far out do you want to let them book? I'm going to say maybe 30 days. Now, this is all to say I'd set a calendar date range here. So this is all that's going to be open to them. This date range from these times, this is still tied to my Outlook calendar. So if I have an event set up on my calendar, they're still not going to be able to book that time. And we'll see how that works. Couple more options in my advanced options are the ability to add an email reminder. So optional, but if I wanted to pop in an email reminder to anybody who sets up a meeting with me, I could do that here, or a follow-up email after the meeting. I don't think I'm going to do this for this one. I'm just going to click Save in the upper right. And now I've set up some public office hours that people can see on my booking page. Okay, so I've set up an additional meeting type just so I have a couple different options here for people to pick from. Now I could share these individually with the students. So just taking this little share button to, share my office hours. I made a second one for grad students. So I could email this to people or copy this link and send it to people. You'll also see this icon here next to personal booking page. And you can copy your entire personal booking page to share with people, and they'll be able to see all of your appointment types that you've made public like this. So I'm going to copy this and just show you what this looks like. So this is what my personal booking page looks like. This has all of my different meeting types in here. And maybe you only have one type, so it doesn't matter. You can just share the page no matter what. But this way, people can select which is the appropriate meeting type for them. Maybe they're a graduate student. Maybe they're just a student looking for general office hours. This is going to be my availability is going to be based on what I had set up when I set up those meeting types. So you'll see the availability kind of changing around here. So here's the student perspective. I'm logged in with another account, accessing this booking page. I'm going to set up a time to meet with this person. And I just want to remind you that if you have events on your calendar, that's going to automatically make those times unavailable. So he has some stuff on his calendar here in the morning on the 3rd. I don't even see those times available to me as the student. So I'm going to select the only remaining time here. Just give that a click and click next. And this is what they will see. It's going to populate in their name and email address automatically. They can add an optional note if they want to, and click book. Now this will generate an email, an Outlook invitation to both the booker and the bookee. So returning to the identity of the professor here, I got this email that this student booked with me. I can see that it's created an event on my calendar. I have a link to that Teams meeting. If I go to the calendar, here is the event that was created, and I can click this join meeting either here or in Teams when I'm ready to join. Now I'm just going to open this up to take a look at this. And this is the same invitation that's sent to the person who has created the appointment. There's an important message at the top. Use the following link to schedule or cancel this meeting. It's important when you're using bookings that both parties use this meeting if they want to cancel, and they don't just try to cancel from Outlook itself, because this is being managed through bookings. So if I click Manage Meeting, it's going to take me right to this specific booking that was created with me. If I need to cancel for some reason, this is where I need to do it. Both you and the person booking with you. Now, both of the types of meetings I just showed you were public. You can also create a private type of meeting. If you do this, you're going to have to share that link with anybody who you want to be able to see it. People visiting your bookings page won't be able to see it by default. So with a private meeting type, see how I have different text here, kind of indicating this is a private meeting versus the more public office hours. If I want to share this with people, they won't see it from the bookings page by default. I'll have to actually share this specific item with people. Notice I also have an additional option. Do I want to make this link valid just for one booking? So you have a few more options with those private meeting types. I think you're probably more commonly using the public type, but you do have options here. If you want to remove any of your meeting types, the ellipses in the upper right of the meeting type will allow you to delete these if you'd like to. You'll also see an option all the way on the upper right of your personal booking page section, where if you wanted to, you could turn off your bookings page. So I don't know, maybe you do something like that over the summer, or if there's an extended period of time you just want the whole page to be off, you can turn that off right here. Now, one more thing to show you. If you remember, when I had set up my bookings times, I had allowed bookings to append my Outlook signature to give people a link to book time to meet with me. So you can see what that looks like here. You can always remove this at any time by visiting your signature settings and deleting it. Now, if you are sharing that link with somebody who does not have a Microsoft 365 account, this is what they'll see when they click on that link. They're going to be given the option to sign in with their Microsoft 365 account, or they can continue as a guest. If someone joins as a guest, they will have to type their own name and email address, but they're still able to book time with you. Note that they may have to verify via an email verification code if they're going to go this route, if they're going to be a guest and not be logged in with their 365 account. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was a helpful introduction to Microsoft Bookings. If you run into any issues or have any questions, the help desk can be reached at 978-4357 option 1 or helpdesk@wichita.edu.